Hello and welcome back to another video in the world of Monster Hunter, and today is Sticky Within Cluster, the Zorah and the Rajang, or the Rajang and the Zorah, depending on how you really want to go. Both have benefits, both have downfalls, but you know, I'll leave it all up to you. I'm going to go over what I believe is the strengths and weaknesses of both, but first, as we all know, Cluster's got nerfed. Not a direct nerf. Damage is basically still there. They still hit really hard. Their capability and what they do is there. You can only carry half the amount though, so completely cluster spamming a monster is, I don't want to say out of the question, but you're going to require Firecasters. And yeah, although on the plus side we have this lovely skill called Artillery Secret, which makes it so much more powerful, but it's all fun and games. Let's have a quick look at what I think is sort of like a starter-ish heavy bowgun build, which is the one I'm actually running here just to sort of show it is still worthwhile. So the reason this is a starter build, although it does still use endgame materials, we're running 3-piece Naga, which is predominantly easier to farm, and you possibly could find a way to swap out the gloves. I'm running Sheath Attack simply because of where this weapon has an auto reload on Sticky 3. I don't always have the opportunity to actually reload, so putting the weapon away that little bit quicker has saved me a grand total of 1 time. But Rajang Destroyer with an Artillery 4 decoration, a defense augment and 2 health, got to keep that peak up. Naga Helmet Alpha for the peak performance 2 with an artillery and an attack. Naga Mal Beta with an attack dual 4. Ruinous Van Braces Beta, and I've got a sheath attack there, you can put whatever you want really, and then an attack dual 1. Guild Palace Coil with attack vitality. Guild Palace comes from the arena. You'll have to do the double Tigger, one's a brute, it's fun. That's got an attack and then a vitality, and then Naga Greaves Alpha for that final point of peak performance with 2 more vitality. Now, although this is a starter build, the only thing that it is lower on is the more meta build uses Artillery Secret. So artillery will go to level 5. Otherwise, damage, EFR, everything else, capability is the same. But the reason I still use this build a lot of the time, particularly against things like Zenoga and the faster monsters, is that evade window. It comes in handy. Now, as I was saying, with the single shot, you don't always have time to reload. It is predominantly a little bit slower, although it is a higher, more capable sustained DPS, because the auto reload, you're not having to stop and slow down or go into some locked animation to reload. You can do it on the move, you can fire on the move. It all works pretty darn well, but overall the DPS chain is slower. Now, this is the Zorah Magdaros version of the Rajang Destroyer build, pretty much utilising the same sort of setup. Attack boost is all there, artillery is all there, agitator is all there, bloody bloody blah. The only thing that's different now is we are using Artillery Secret, which gives us another 2 points of artillery, which generally means your Stickies, Clusters and Wyverns are going to hit a fair chunk harder. So we've got Destroyer with a Challenger Charm 4, Defense and 2 health augments, Zorah Magdaros Alpha with 2 flawless decorations, Zorah Hide Alpha with a release and an attack, Ruin of Van Braces, and I've got a Sheath Attack in there again with another attack, Zorah Spine Alpha with a Challenger, flawless, and then Kirin Leg Guards with an attack. And we have to use the Razor Sharp Charm this time because we're not utilising the 3-piece Naga. Overall, this build does work better. You will get a lot more bang for your buck, but the downfalls are still the same. You are still utilising the auto reload on the Sticky 3. Although for both builds, the plus side is you'll have 2 shots in there. So even if you do get staggered, stunned, knocked down after firing, you generally will have another shot to fire. So you don't have to go into that very long-winded reload animation when you stand back up and start firing, because typically you'll only have, or still have, 1 round left in there for you to do. And when you auto reload after that, you will automatically put 2 back in rather than just 1. So there are plus sides to it, but that reload on auto reload does still take a little bit of time, but it's the price we pay for greatness, my heavy bowgun brethren. I feel your pain. Now this is one that I am wanting to test out against lovely Safi'Jiiva. Got a little bit of a tease this week with the recon. Heavily disappointed it wasn't the full thing because I really want the Safi'Jiiva now. Give me Safi. But still, the Magda Gemitus Vulcan. This is the maxed out Zorah Magdaros heavy bowgun. And despite the raw difference in this, you do kind of make up for a little bit of the DPS utilising Sticky 3 because you can hold 4 in a clip. The recoil isn't too bad for you to manage. There's a little bit of a knockback, so as long as you've got a decent gauge on your range, the DPS in a burst will be greater, but there is a hefty reload animation, which is so much fun. However, on the plus side to this, we can fit an attack augment in, a defense augment, a health augment, and an element augment. And this is what I've been using against the recon in Safi'Jiiva, and it works quite well, along with, 7 levels of custom upgrades. Now the reason we've got the element in there is because this weapon also has poison capabilities, and poison ruins most things in the game, and hell help those that are 3-star weak, like Safi, to poison, because we can stick 2-piece pink Rathian in there, which is poison duration up. We've also got artillery secrets, so that's going to be a massive chunk to our sticky Wyvern and clusters, and obviously the razor sharp charm. Now the reason I've also got the defense augment in there is because this will put you at 970 defense. Now although there is a diminishing return on defense, it is going to be the highest possible defense that you can utilize in a heavy bowgun without going a full defense build, which is going to do sod all damage. So we've got a nice chunk of defense, and the idea of this build is to be the one that gets Safi'Jiiva's attention. Now I don't like using a shield mod because I feel like, although I'm getting my head kicked in by this Zenogre at this point, I feel like I'm good enough to avoid that, and I've done a lot of practice with Safi, and I've been marking down his timings for his laser beam span. I kind of feel that I'm pretty safe, but if you do feel like you need to use a shield mod, find a way, I suppose. But this is going to be, or that would have been, my Safi'Jiiva heavy bowgun build, but I've got to wait till next week now, damn. But overall, the build does hit pretty damn hard. The poison on it is absolutely amazing, and you do get some serious chunk of damage out of the thing. But in the meantime, have fun, good luck, and don't die. You should also totally, dude, pop over to Gravity UK on twitch.tv/Gravity UK. Great guy, helps a lot of people out. You often find me there wandering around, kicking something's head in.